So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a very commonly asked question in the DMs, on sales calls, and amongst clients inside the RSA community, which is very simply, Connor, I'm new to high ticket sales. I'm new to sales as a career. Should I start as a setter or should I start as a closer? Now, the answer to that question is very, very important. So make sure that you stick to the end of this video because all the context of what I'm about to tell you absolutely matters. And it's going to help you make the appropriate decision. And if you make the wrong decision when it comes to this, it can literally waste weeks, months, up to a year of your time and a ton of money. Who wants to do that? So make sure that you stick to the end so you get the full context of my answer to this question. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the age-old question of should I start as a setter or as a closer really comes from the marketers that sell the dream of becoming a high-ticket closer. Right? You've probably all seen it. You're going to be able to sit and, take calls by the beach, or you're going to be able to just have pre-sold, warm leads. They're going to book in your calendar and they're going to pay you thousands of dollars and you're going to get paid hundreds of dollars in commission just like that. If you've been watching my channel for a while, we both know it's not actually that easy. And the offers out there, or the business owners or the companies you can work for, the accounts that will allow you to do that is very slim to none, right? It's a very small percentage of companies out there that have such a well-developed marketing and sales process that it's so dialed in that you literally are doing what is classified as order taking in the sales industry. And order taking is literally defined as you don't have to do much work and these people pay you thousands of dollars and you get paid hundreds of commissions, right? Or thousands of commissions. Right? There are many industries and there are many offers that exist out there like that. But in the high ticket sales industry, it's a very small percentage. I've seen this happen, once before when I was on an account where this guy was terrible at sales, but he was literally just an order taker and he was making between $20,000 and $23,000 a month in commissions. So these offers do exist out there, but for the vast majority, it's not going to be the case. And I want to break that reality here for you right now. The big thing and the big reason why a lot of people want to go to the sales position or the closing position first is pretty much what I've seen is ego. Because egotistically, high ticket closing, high ticket sales is the more flashy, the more shiny object, the more reputable thing, the cooler thing to do rather than setting. Setting sounds boring and it sounds shitty and it sounds like it's no fun and you don't make a lot of money. A big misconception a lot of people have about setting versus closing is that I've met a lot of setters that actually make a lot more than closers, right? One of the setters that was setting for my sales calls on an offer where I was making $25K a month, he was making 10 grand per month just by working about 3 hours a day, right? So don't get sucked into the narrative that one is better than the other. Yes, if you want to scale your commissions between 10 and 50,000 per month, then you need to eventually navigate to closing. However, don't let your ego get in the way of saying that you need to do a sales position first. A really, really big thing that you must understand between a setting and a closing position, if you start on one or the other, is that you develop what I would like to call as sales IQ. You've probably heard of EQ before, which is emotional intelligence. I like to call it sales intelligence, where when you have more frequency and dialogue of conversation, you develop this neural connection in your brain, right? This is complete bro science, but this is just what I've seen. When you have more frequency of interactions, you actually tend to be prepared and better for a closing role than someone who's just going in there who thinks that they're trained, right? More on that in a second. But one thing I want to highlight here is a lot of people have role play and training from someone that they've worked with, whether or not that's me or anyone else, and they feel comfortable and confident that they're going to hit the ground running and that they're a baller, high-ticket closer, and the best salesperson in the world. I hate to break the reality for you, but once you get on that call, no one's there to save you. Your coach isn't there to save you. Your mentor's not there to save you. The business owner's not there to save you. You are there to get shit done. And if you can't, you're going to lose a lot of people a lot of money, right? Which I'm going to talk about here in a second. But it's really important to understand that once you actually get on these sales calls, the reality of it is completely different to that of what you've sold on and what you've practiced. You can practice all you like. The moment that you're in that live situation, it changes very, very quickly. I know this from experience. Now, personally, I had been setting for months before I got into a closing position, because if I was put in a closing position, I would have lost it the first week because I was absolutely terrible and I had no idea what I was talking about. Of course, I didn't have the right skills and training, but even if you do, most people really over-assume their skills and their ability in sales before they've even had a sales call. So that's one word of warning from someone who's experienced, who's been there, who's done that, and has coached hundreds and thousands of people on this topic, which is that of sales. But back to the sales IQ thing. When you are in a high ticket closing position or a sales position, let's say that you have 100 calls that are booked in your calendar each month and you have a show up rate, which a show up rate basically means out of 100 calls, how many people turn up. Let's say it's 75%, being conservative. That's probably the highest show up rate that you can get. 80% is like perfect dream. So let's say it's 75. You now, as a high ticket closer, only have 75 conversations per month. Whereas the setter, let's say that you only do it for 2 or 3 months, you're having at least 20 conversations per day. That multiplied by 30 is a significant amount of more sales dialogue than that of the person who went straight into sales, right? It's a very, very small thing, but it makes a really, really, really big difference. And I've seen that for myself and for people that have started in sales roles, inside the RSA community. People who have gone from a setter to closer very quickly, and it's incredibly benefited them, right, in the short term and the long term. But the thing to consider is that if you're not prepared for this closing or sales role, you can potentially lose the company a lot of money, burn a lot of bridges, and a lot of relationships. You have to understand that these business owners are paying $100 to a couple $100 to $1,000 to book calls in your calendar. If you don't have the skill to basically facilitate that sale, it's going to not do very well for you, long story short. You can put all the effort into getting these roles, but if you can't execute, then you're going to have a lot of trouble. The last thing I want to highlight here is the necessary skills to make big money is the setting skills in the first place. Most people are taught that all the money is made in the high ticket closing element, waiting for leads to be booked in your calendar. Yes, there are a lot of opportunities out there that just want you to take the calls that are booked in your calendar. However, if you want to go from 10 to 15 to 20 to 25 to 30K per month in commissions, whereas most people want to get to, obviously 10K a month is the first milestone, and then you want to progress further from there. To do that, you need to develop yourself from a high ticket closer to a remote sales professional. You need to be a well-rounded sales rep. You can't just be taking calls in the calendar and just expecting money to hit you in the face. You need to be good at calling no-shows, rescheduling appointments, setting your own calls from warm lead lists. You need to become effective at triaging, filtering your own leads. Because even if you have someone to do this for yourself, you need to teach them, you need to coach them on the way that you want them to triage and set for you, so it links in synchronicity with your current sales process and the way that you sell. If you can't communicate correctly what you want for your setter, or you can't easily prepare and connect your own sales process from your own triage call and your own setting call to your own sales call, you're going to look a bit stupid, you're not going to make a lot of money, and I can guarantee you, you will not have a future long-term career in this industry making 10 to 30 to 40K plus commissions per month, which I'm sure a lot of you watching this YouTube channel want to do. So that's my stance on it. I think primarily starting as a setter is much more advantageous than starting as a closer. I've done this myself. Some of my most successful students, in fact, most of my most successful students started as a setter beforehand. But the one thing that I want you to realize is you don't have to be a setter forever. You don't have to be a setter for a year before you're ready. I'm talking 60 to 90 days is enough to give you the ability to have that muscle, build a little bit of sales IQ, and have the ability to go ahead and set your own calls. Because again, if you don't have that ability, you're just going to be waiting for calls to be sitting on your calendar. And business owners value people who can go out there and make money for them. Not just guys who are just sitting there waiting for leads to fall in their lap, right? Guys who are proactive and can make the business a lot of money, thus make them a lot of money, is going to be significantly rewarded, not just in commissions, but in relationships, in contacts, in network, in reputation, everything. So that's my stance on it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video and you got some valuable insights from it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.